Drew Park outside Tampa Police District 1, where there's a new program that's getting police a little closer to the ground. Maritza Astorquita is a chairperson of the Community Advisory Committee here, and you can tell us all about the brand new Bike Patrol program.
Well, the Bike Patrol program was put in place as a way for the police officers to be able to interact a little bit more with the community. In Drew Park, we are a business community and we're a residential community as well. As a business community, it is exactly that, a community. And we have spoken to many people, many of us who have businesses here. Some of them have been here 30, 40 years, some are multi-generational, some are new, some are startups. But the one thing in common that a lot of people say is this is a true community. You can go to anywhere in Drew Park, find just about anything, but also find a lot of help. Well, District 1 is part of our community. And so in conversation with Lieutenant Peters, I asked him, how can we help you help us? Number one, with crime prevention, crime activity, but also become part of our community. And one good way that he came up with is bike patrols. That allows the police officers to do all three.
You recently just had the kickoff for the Bike Patrol.
Yes, we did in December.
And how does that actually work?
Lieutenant Peters' response to me in that conversation was, well, we need bikes. And so the CRA Advisory Committee, we approved the expense and the CRA approved it, and by golly, now we have bikes. So now the bikes are turned over to the Tampa Police Department, District 1, and they will use it here at their discretion with how they patrol, our area.
But there's a particular panache to a bike. It does something different for police officers. It gets them closer to the folks out in the community.
As far as my understanding, when as working during this project, I did take the time to speak to other officers that were on bike patrol, and particularly some in downtown. And a couple of the comments which really assured me that this was the thing to do was, one thing they told me is, yes, it does allow us to get closer to the community. It does allow us to become part of the community, but particularly it allows us in crime prevention as well as finding activities because we are less noticeable. And it's not like a police car where it's announced, we're here. The bikes and the bike patrols allow officers to get in closer to activities and closer to people and find out what's going on in your area.
And you explained why the CRA, the advisory committee, was so interested in bringing the bikes in. How do you see them promoting development as you go along in Drew Park?
Well, Drew Park is, my opinion and of many, a wonderful place to have a business. And the fact that we are already a community and tying in the police and the officers that will be with us, I believe it'll give us more of a sense of a community as well as a sense that it's a good place to do business. We are a wonderful and safe place to do business. I think that'll help promote that feeling and that community feeling.
In what way?
Well, I think that having the police part, in any neighborhood, having the police part of your community just ties us all in. It's not us and them. It's not, it's all of us working together to make this a better place, a safer place. When you go to business, when you go to work, you want to feel safe. When you leave work, you want to go safe. You want to feel safe. A lot of the businesses here are entrepreneurs and small businesses. What does that mean? We're working 7 days a week. We're working all hours of the day. So the fact that we can feel safe coming to and from work because there's an extra program where the police is working with us on, I think that makes us all feel better. And it makes it a better environment for other businesses to come in and open up shop. This is a great place to open up any business.
Okay, thank you. As you can imagine, it's a different perspective for a police officer on a bike, and here to share a little bit more about that with us is Lieutenant Donald Peters of the Tampa Police Department. Maritza mentioned that instead of it being us and them, when an officer is on a bike, it's more like we.
Yeah, what happens is sometimes a police officer driving in a police car with the windows closed up, he's just not accessible to the public, and people just see him as he drives by. When you take that same police officer, you take him out of that police car, and you put him on a bicycle, everything changes. All of a sudden he's accessible. Kids can walk up to him, parents walk up to him, shop owners walk up to them, they can park their bikes and walk in and out. It just changes the whole approach of policing.
What kind of shifts do officers do? 8-hour shifts?
We do actually a 12-hour shift. It's actually 11.4. It's a 12-hour shift. So these folks that will be riding these bicycles, they'll have the bikes on a bike rack on the back of their car. And the plan would be for them to go on normal patrol in their vehicles, get to their zone, which would be Drew Park, and once there, find the location and park the police car in a good spot, then take the bikes out and do the rest of their patrol on bikes.
Because why I ask is you say we can stop and talk to people, we can go in this business or whatever, but then the officers have the freedom to do as they see fit during those hours. I need to stop here, I need to talk to this person.
Exactly. It's called community policing. It's worked real well in other parts of the city. We used it in downtown when I was a downtown sergeant. They used it in Ybor City on 7th Avenue. And more recently, Major Newman has used it over in Sulphur Springs. So it brings a whole new dynamic to the police department. And we're going to try it in Drew Park and see how it works.
And you say it's worked really well. How do you measure success?
Well, it's hard to measure success sometimes with the police because we don't sell an item. So to measure success for us is when there is no crime, when crime's being reduced. And that's the whole thing. You have an officer on a bicycle, he's more visible. So if somebody's going to do something against the law, he sees the person on the bike, he might not do it. And that's what we're looking for.
And what's it like for the officer? Because I can look at a bike and say, that's great, but I might feel more exposed as an officer on a bike.
Personally, the officers go through a really strong training program to be certified in the state of Florida to use the bicycle. So they have that confidence of the training that they already had. And once they get on the bike, it's a whole different approach. So they're pretty confident, and so far nobody's been complaining about it.
It's sort of a different version of the horse.
Exactly. Yes, it is.
And how many bikes do you have right now?
We're lucky enough to get funded for 2 bikes for Drew Park. And we're expanding that also to, we got two bicycles through another committee for West Tampa. And when this interview is over, we're going to pick up another bike for Hyde Park, which is in South Tampa. So we'll have a total of 6 once we get the program rocking.
And I'm sure you hope that that continues to grow.
It would be great.
Any idea of how many bikes would be ideal, or how many areas in the future?
I'd like to put 2 on every shift in every sector. That'd be great.
This is a particular make and type of bike that's just for police.
That's correct.
All right, we're going to pull one up here and have you demonstrate what's special about it. All right.
The bikes actually come in different sizes for the different police officers so they can get the proper fit. They're made out of real lightweight material, but they're really strong. This looks like an average water bottle. It's actually the battery charging system. This is the battery pack to run the lights, the siren, and all the other accessories on the bike. And it can easily be charged up by just unplugging this into an outlet charger, and then it charges up, and then the officers have power for their bikes.
I think we need to show the lights and the siren.
Well, if we can hit the button here, some of the lights will go on.
And then is there anything special about the pack back here?
Yeah, the pack back here is where the officers will keep all their gear. And it's got a quick release, so if they have to go fast, they just take it and off they go.
And of course, you've got your gun on, same as ever.
Yeah, they have all their other material and equipment on their gun belt.
And this bike costs about $1,500.
$1,500, and that includes the trunk carrier for the bikes to put in the back of the police car.
All right, thank you.
Okay.